Tonight, there's some new steps to combat the dangers of 3D printed guns. Governor Hochul unveiling proposals, including legislation making it a crime for a person to intentionally sell or possess digital 3D firearm instructions without a license.
So, apparently the solution to gun violence in New York is to put gun blocking software on 3D printers. No, that's not a joke. That's not satire. That's not a Babylon Bee headline. That's New York's governor on camera saying this.
I'm proposing the first in the nation law requiring all 3D printers sold in the state of New York to include software that blocks the printer from creating a gun. It's just common sense. Just common sense.
Ah, yes, common sense. Because nothing says not authoritarian like the government deciding what machines you're allowed to use and what ideas those machines are allowed to express. This came from Kathy Hochul, who now wants to mandate software that decides what's acceptable for you to manufacture.
Other proposed legislation includes reporting 3D printed guns to the Criminal Gun Clearinghouse database and creating a first-in-the-nation policy establishing safety standards for 3D printer manufacturers.
And here's the part they're counting on you not knowing. A 3D printer does not know what it's printing. It doesn't know if it's a gun. It doesn't know if it's a wrench. It doesn't know if it's a toy, a bracket, or a piece of model train equipment. It prints measurements. That's it. So when Hochul says block guns, what she's really saying is block tubes, block rectangles, block springs, block screws, block shapes, which means the only way this works is if you cripple the printer so badly it's barely useful at all. And that's not public safety. That's technological censorship dressed up as
just common sense.
And this is exactly why I created my state-specific Keep America tactical designs. Because from the very beginning, Americans were never told you can only exercise your rights with government permission. In 1776, the musket wasn't regulated by software. It wasn't approved by a bureaucrat. It was owned, carried, and understood as a safeguard against tyranny. Today, politicians want to control not just firearms, but the tools, machines, and ideas behind them. So this isn't just merch. It's a reminder. If you believe freedom doesn't need software update, check out my state-specific Keep America tactical at shop.mrcolion.noir.com. I'll put a link in the description section so you can check out the hoodies, the hats, the shirts, the drinkware, all of it. Wear it proudly and remind them, rights don't come with terms and conditions. Let's talk about what this actually is, because Hochul's office didn't just float this idea casually. They put it into writing. As part of her 2026 State of the State agenda, Governor Kathy Hochul today unveiled proposals to strengthen New York's nation-leading gun laws by cracking down on 3D printed and illegal firearms. They go even further. The new legislation would establish criminal penalties for the manufacture of 3D printed firearms and order minimum safety standards to be established for 3D printer manufacturers to block the production of firearms and firearm components, same source. Now, here's the part that exposes how unserious this is. 3D printers don't print guns. They print parts individually, one at a time. So unless Hochul's plan on banning cylinders, flat surfaces, threaded rods, and hollow tubes, this law does nothing. And let's address the fear porn directly. Yes, there are metal 3D printers, industrial ones, six-figure machines used for prototyping, not mass-producing functional firearms. Even then, the materials typically can't withstand sustained chamber pressure. At best, you get something dangerous, unreliable, and often single use, which raises the obvious question. Who is this actually stopping? Because it's definitely not criminals. New York already has an assault weapons ban, a magazine capacity ban, concealed carry permit requirements, red flag laws, storage laws, universal background checks, bump stock ban, ghost gun regulations, micro-stamping requirements. And yet, despite all of that, on December 4, 2024, it didn't stop United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson from being shot and killed outside the Hilton Hotel in Midtown Manhattan. And on July 28, 2025, 4 innocent people were killed when an attacker with an AR-style rifle opened fire inside a Manhattan office building. So let's stop lying to ourselves. This isn't about safety. It's about appearances. It's about giving politicians something to point at and say, look what we did. We did something. Even if that something is useless, even if it crushes innovation, even if it chips away at freedom. Because when you see yourself as a solution to everything, every tool becomes a problem, and every problem becomes an excuse to control more. That's not common sense. That's common sense authoritarianism. One thing's for certain and two things are for sure. Politicians and tech giants don't want gun content to be recommended to you. And we're all fighting this culture war together. Now, you can help do your part by liking, commenting, subscribing to the channel, but most importantly, sharing this video with at least one person. Together we can stop the suppression of our 2A rights. And don't forget to click the link in the description section of this video for the products that I mentioned in this video.